Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. If you love high performing plants, then this video is going to be dangerous for you. I'm just going to go ahead and warn you. It is a beautiful rainy day, and yes, beautiful when you are in a severe drought. So Jerry and I have kind of run away to the production house, and as you can see, we have got beautiful plants that are just absolutely thriving. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go through and highlight the plants that you can add to your garden right now. It is not too late, especially I'm talking about my southern people, because I know my colder people, you're still dealing with frost and freezes. But these are the plants that are the absolute workhorses in the garden, the plants that we rely on. We know that they perform so well in gardens. So we're going to have some fun talking about plants today. Now we're standing here in the very back corner, and one of my all-time favorite perennials. It is not a quote showy perennial, but it is my absolute, I would say, top 5 favorite because of how well it performs. Y'all, this is Ascot Rainbow Euphorbia, a spurge. It is an evergreen. Of course, this is kind of quote a baby one in a quart, although it is a very healthy, vigorous plant. Look at this. Look at these beautiful roots, if I can even get it. Look at that. That is a gardener's dream with those beautiful roots. Now, how can you use Ascot Rainbow? How do I use Ascot Rainbow? Well, first of all, Ascot Rainbow is hardy in zones possibly 5, definitely a 6 to a 9. This is the plant that you're going to put in your full sun if you're in the cooler zones, part sun, part shade if you're in the warmer zones like I am. That is going to give you this big, beautiful color all season long. It is soft, it is variegated, it is the coolest plant ever that we love putting into our gardens as a perennial. Beautiful color and structure in the garden. All right, so that's Ascot Rainbow. Then moving on, y'all, if you're not growing salvia in your garden, now there's tons of salvia available, right? So there's all different kinds, whether you want a short one, that would be like more the unplugged series, or you want the taller ones, which are like the rockin' series, right? So for example, we're going to skip over right quick. This is the unplugged white. The unplugs, really, this is going to be their mature height right here. Unplugged white is one of the newer salvias from Proven Winners. It gives you that beautiful white. I've got bumblebees on the salvias, even here in the greenhouse. Depending on your zone, my warmer people, it could definitely be a perennial for you. My cooler people, it is going to be obviously an annual. So how are you going to use the unplugged? Just white, blue, pink. There's a lot of different colors, red. There's a lot of different colors in there. You can use these in containers. I know, of course, that this is our 250th birthday for our country, so a ton of people are doing red, white, and blue containers or their landscape. This would be a great thriller in your container. Jerry, back up a little bit, please. So you can pair this with the compact red SunPatient. So you could put this in the landscape. You can put it in containers. SunPatiens absolutely do full sun. I'm trying to find a blue that's somewhere close to me. There's some Scaevolas. We'll get to it in a minute, but just know that we've got blue. So you can do those containers or the landscape. In the south, these will go all summer. These can handle your heat and humidity. So a bunch of people are having fun with that red, white, and blue. I know that I am, so your salvias are going to do that as well. If you want to stay in those cooler, lighter colors, if you're like, Jenny, I don't do red in the garden, it's just too bright. Well, you have got like the pink flash SunPatient. Y'all, this is a beautiful, nice, soft pastel pink. You can see how the colors will change as the blooms mature. So your newer blooms are a sweeter, richer pink, and then as they age, they almost go to a white. People talk about SunPatiens. I personally love them in my garden. Now, I planted some, I think it was the purple candy in the backyard, during the drought, during the heat. And yes, I did have to water them just about every day for about a week, 2 weeks. Y'all, their roots have found their growing legs, and they have been perfectly fine. They are covered in flowers, and I can now stop watering them, especially now that we are getting some beautiful rain. So your SunPatiens can handle the full sun, even in the south. You just gotta kind of help them along in the beginning. Coleus, Oxford Street. This is part of the Creekside Champions. Y'all, this is a beautiful Coleus. Coleus is one of those plants that if you're looking for a high-performing, low-maintenance plant, then your Coleus is what you need to grow. If you're a brand new gardener and you don't know where to start, but you want color, Coleus is going to be one of your absolute best friends. The bugs do not like it. It's very easy. They're not high as far as a feeder, so you're not going to have to use a ton of fertilizer on them. So your Beale Street, if my eyes will work, is going to be in that like 16 to 18 inches. So it's not going to be massive. You can use it in containers. Of course, you can use it in the landscape in a variety of sun conditions. Now I'm going to talk to my cooler people. Southern people, you absolutely can grow these. It's just going to be a little bit different for you. My cooler zone people who have those cool nights and you don't have the heat and the humidity in the summertime, nighttime. You probably already know how amazing dahlias are, but this is the Virtuoso Vibrant Violet. There's a lot of these in there. Dahlia from Proven Winners. The whole line of the Virtuoso dahlias, whether you want the red with the classy carmine or you want the pink of the pinkerific, these are wonderful annuals, and yes, they can come back definitely as like dahlias do with the tubers, but you just got to be careful. So however you grow dahlias, this is going to be the same aspect for this. They go in the landscape and in containers, and you get these beautiful blooms. This is covered in buds, but the reason that I say my cooler people is because dahlias prefer those cooler temperatures. So for us Southerners, they do great in the spring, early summer. They're going to take a break as far as the massive blooms in the heat of the summer, but the fall, oh, the fall is beautiful. So we have put them in our landscape multiple times. You can put them in containers. So this is that classy carmine that I was telling you about. Again, red, white, and blue. Let's go for it, people. Do your red, then get some of the like the diamonds, diamond snow, diamond frost. You can do, like we got diamond mountain right here. That would be beautiful to go high and then put these guys in front. So there you go on that. Talking about blue though, you've got like Scaevola. This is the whirlwind blue, and Scaevolas love the heat. So there you go. Talking about the red, white, and blue. Could be a nice low. In the landscape, it's going to be more like a ground cover, and in a container, it's going to be your spiller. It's going to spill over. So we're going to bebop over here because talking about, let's go look at the pinkerifics. The Virtuoso dahlias, they're relatively new from Proven Winners, like in the past couple of years, right? And when they first came out, I would say probably pinkerific was going to be like one of the #1 dahlias. Look at that color. It is gorgeous. Even here in the south, especially in the fall, they'll take on some blue hues to them. There's like a little blue purple in there with that rich pink. Gorgeous. So there you go. And of course the dahlias make great cut flowers as well. So we have got plenty of these pinkerifics because they are so popular. People love them. We're finding that a lot of people kind of tend to go in their gardens with the pinks and the purples and the light blues, kind of the softer colors. So that's why we really stocked up on the pinkerifics. So we have got those for you as well. So for Yes, okay, so Jerry said, because our boxes are only so tall, my friends, right? So what we're doing, and in fact, Mimi's over here being one of our little garden assistants today on this rainy day, is that it was probably gonna come to you trimmed. So when you see this big, gorgeous, tall dahlia, right? It's tall. It's gonna come to you trimmed. Now y'all, do not freak out. We kind of grow plants for a living, and we kind of know how the plants respond. So when you go ahead and cut a dahlia, whether it is here or in the landscape, that is a tuber. When you cut them or pinch them back, right, it encourages it to branch out and push out new growth. Do not freak out if you get a dahlia. Like if we see this dahlia, I would cut it all the way right there. Because if you see those little leaves on the side, the little small leaves, those are going to turn into branches. And then those branches are going to give you multiple buds and flowers. So it's okay, because we're getting to that point of the season where we're going to have to start trimming some things so that they fit in the box and they arrive safely to you. So that was an excellent point. Thank you for reminding me. There's a blue. This is one of my absolute favorites. If you follow us for any length of time, you know how much I love the Blue My Mind XL Evolvulus. Y'all, this is especially a southern gardener's dream. It is drought tolerant. It hates the fertilizer, so don't fertilize it. It is a beautiful ground cover. This is really about as tall as it gets, and it goes out. Such an amazing plant, and it's kind of fun that it's actually open right now because it is a cloudy day, because your blooms will open and close with the sun. Beautiful in the landscape, drought tolerant, where you can't get water to it and you don't really want to have to fuss, but you want the blue. This is it. In a container, it is a great spiller. So we love and adore. This is like one of the annuals that I will always have in my garden every single year. Now, back to a perennial for especially the shade. Y'all, I honestly do not know why there's any of these Everillos sitting right here, because these are great shade-loving evergreen Carex, a grass, right? So I have the Everillo in my gardens everywhere. They are beautiful in containers. They are beautiful in the landscape. They can handle about 5 to 6 hours, I would say, of morning southern sun. My cooler people, you can definitely put this in like more of a sun condition for you. But the Everillo Carex grass is a great, great hardy perennial that will give you this beautiful pop of color in your shade garden. So you definitely need to add the Everillo to your garden. All right, now let's skip over, Jerry says. We're kind of jumping around everywhere today. That seems to be the theme of our life right now, is jumping from one thing to the next. And so I will say this, I'm gonna back up just a second before we hit the Scaevolas. These are the pizzazz orange Portulaca. There we go, my friends. And that's the bad thing about us filming on a cloudy day, is because they're not open. They close and open with the sun. It is so interesting because we have these exact plants at the garden center and we cannot keep them in stock, because when people come, it's a beautiful sunny day, these things are open and they are stunning and they are selling like hotcakes. It's hard for us to give you that when you're looking like on a video, especially on a cloudy day. I know we could take pictures during the sun, but you know what? We just forgot to do it. But if you want a drought tolerant, massive burst of color that your pollinators love, then the pizzazz Portulaca is the one for you. Now, can we just look, get all up in there, look at that beautiful color that is in here. Y'all, these are Scaevolas. This is the Surdiva Fashion Pink and the Lilac Mist. I want to go to my landscape and put these together and intermingle them, because I absolutely adore how this looks right here. This is gorgeous. They are stunning. These Scaevolas love the heat. They love being in the heat and the humidity. Put them in the landscape. They're going to make a gorgeous carpet. Mix the colors together to get a beautiful kind of a fun mix of colors together. Of course, you could do a whole block if you want to, but those are beautiful, and they are drought tolerant. Landscapes, containers, you name it, you have got it. All right, so here we go. Begonias. We have got begonias, and again, I keep saying this because it's true. All of these plants that we're talking about today are those plants that I reliably go to every single year, and begonias are the plant that you're going to put in your garden if you want a big show, a beautiful display with, I would say, close to zero maintenance. Once these babies are established, they are going to give you massive color. So what Mimi's working on are like the dragon wing begonias. So your dragon wings, whether they are the pink or the red, they are going to give you great color for your shade garden. You have seen me put in dragon wings in my containers, in the landscape. These are for your shade gardens. They go up and they have more of a cascading habit, okay? Now, if you're like, well, Jenny, I don't really know what my sun conditions are. I get some morning sun, and then I get shade, and then I get hot afternoon sun. It's off and on all the time. Then that's when you're gonna go for your surefire begonias. The surefire begonias from Proven Winners can do sun, shade, and anything in between. I have literally grown them in full sun, and I have grown them in full shade. They perform well in both applications. So if you have that tricky spot in your garden and you're not really sure what the sun is, then this is going to be a great one for you. I personally love, well, I love all the colors, but this year I have gone with the Surefire White. We're using Surefire White up at the entrance to the gardens, into the green, to the nursery, and so this is what I put in the urns, and we're going to add them. We added them to the bed by the gate. Beautiful. They're going to be, if you put them in the landscape and you have a long growing season, absolutely they will be 2 feet tall. If you put them in a container, maybe around 12 inches, or if you have a shorter growing season. But you get this beautiful green glossy foliage, white flowers with that yellow center, beautiful colors on that as well. And then the Creekside Champions is the Viking XL. That is the red on chocolate. In the greenhouse, the leaves are a little bit more green because of the UV protection. Out in the full sun and out of the greenhouse, the foliage will turn near black with that red. These are the ones that are going to get nice and big. They can be 3 feet tall, 3 feet wide. A really big, beautiful, that's why it's called Viking XL, gorgeous one for that full sun to part shade garden. Let's see, what else is there? My friends, if you love grasses as much as I love grasses, look at this Graceful Grasses Skyrocket. This is a stunning grass. I have used it many, many times in my landscape, and it does not disappoint. Now, it is an annual grass, okay? That's okay, because during the growing season, it is going to give you this beautiful variegated, it's a green center with a cream edge. It will have a little bit of some pink in there every once in a while, and then it will do those creamy white plumes. Y'all, this is why we love grasses, is because of, one, their vigor. Hello, root system. This is called, I'm ready to get out of this pot. As soon as you put me in a container or the landscape at your house, I am going to grow, bloom, and thrive. Now, Skyrocket, it says 24 to 30 inches. Believe me, it will do that. It'll get nice and wide. This, you want grasses. If you've never done grasses in your garden, please add grasses, whether they're perennials or they're annuals. Obviously, your annuals are going to grow faster. They're going to fill out quicker than your perennial grasses. Come in a range of colors, but I love the Skyrocket for its versatility of the color in your garden. Now, speaking of color and movement in the garden, this is Stratosphere White Gaura. Now, No, it is not a grass, but do you see the wind is blowing and we have got movement in the garden? Right next door, there's some Rocapucos. They are not moving. They're gorgeous, but they're not moving. Where you put your Gaura in, because you get that height, they bring movement to it. And then, of course, the Stratosphere White is going to be fantastic because it is that nice white with a little bit of a hint of pink. Very, very versatile in the garden. White complements everything. 12 to 24 inches tall, and this is one of those annuals that will oftentimes be a perennial in a lot of gardens because it is a perennial in zones 6 to 10. So while we sell it as a annual, it will be a perennial for a ton of us. And so I love the Stratosphere White for that height and color to it. I've also done all like the Carex Petite Pink because it's a little bit shorter and reliably comes back every year for me. Beautiful plant for sure. Another one that is going to bring you a different kind of moodiness to the garden. It is a dahlia, but y'all, this is not your ordinary dahlia. This is the Mystic Illusion. Look at that dark foliage. In the full sunlight, it is basically black, my friends. They're not blooming right now. We have got buds, but look at that tag. It will be the brightest, sunniest, cheeriest yellow you ever did see. 2 years ago, we did this in the signature garden in the raised bed. Honey, when it says they can get 36 inches tall, they can. If you have a long growing season, they're gonna be that 36 inches. Shorter season, shorter, 18 inches. Prolific bloomer over and over again. People ask, since it's a dahlia, will it come back? This one, I can absolutely say it does. It forms nice big tubers, and in my North Carolina Zone 8A garden, it was coming back because when we took it out of the signature garden, we evidently left some of the tubers unknowingly, and so we've had Mystic Illusion coming back definitely last year. I haven't seen any this year. But just know that there are tons of beautiful colors and textures and movements that you can add to your garden right now. For my southerners, it is not too late. For my northern folks, your season is just beginning to open up. And this is go time, friends, right? So this is what we live for during the winter, are these beautiful, sunny, warmer days that we can be out in our garden, supporting the pollinators, bringing color and texture and movement to our space. So just know that we are here to help. And for those of you that have already placed your orders, believe you me, we are working our honeys off to get the orders to you. This entire week, our staff has been here from like 7 a.m. and we have been staying till about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, pulling orders. So if you already have an order with us, trust us. Nobody wants you to have your plants sooner than we do. And we are literally working the longest days every day to bring those plants to you quickly, safely, and efficiently. You can check the website. It tells you what zone we're shipping. We're not going to hold your order, folks. We want to get these plants to you. So just know that we are working and doing our absolute best to get them to you. As always, we hope you have a fun, great, beautiful day. I hope for those of you that are like us in the drought that you have some beautiful rain. I see a hummingbird behind me sitting on one of the little wires. It's in here drying off from the rain. Jerry, can we just turn around really slowly and see if that hummingbird will pick up? It's on the wire behind the begonias. So if you see a little dot, oh, Mimi turned around and she flew off. Now she went to the other side. Now she's on the other side by the potting machine. But that's what's fun too about night, is being in here and working. Last night we were having hummingbird wars and they were buzzing each other and feeding on all the plants, and it was great. Okay, we've talked enough. See y'all next time. Bye, friends.